everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and today we're going to do a little bit of a throwback, and I'm going to do an album flip through. This is my 2005 album. I don't know when I completed this. Probably, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, I had to go in here for something. I was looking at something or looking for some details on something. So I came in here and I came across something that was very interesting. So as far as I was concerned, this album is complete. I noticed I never updated the photos. These are not anybody I know. So I should find something to put in here. At the very least, maybe some flower pictures or maybe some extra photos I have that represent the year. The album is an album that I got from Costco way back in the day. It is post-bound and it's kind of like this blue suede, kind of suede-like. Okay, so back in the day I didn't do a cover page, but you see here a very simple layout, and to be honest, this is probably more my normal style. In the last couple years I've really been experimenting with a lot of layering and adding way more embellishments, but typically if you were to go through a bunch of my albums you'd see a lot of grid, a lot of single row, very simple. Unlike when I first started and I was doing the whole creative memories thing, then you would have seen a lot of cut up photos, you know, shapes and stuff. So this was back in 2005. I had a trip to Edmonton and I visited with some friends and family. This continues the trip. So again, this was back in the day where we photographed all the photos, or not photographed, we used all the photos. We didn't just, you know, do one photo to represent the event. And I still use quite a bit of photos. I may not print them all 4x6, but quite often if I have a 4x6 photo, it will be a collage of some sort. So again, just very simple, very minimal embellishments. In fact, I don't think there's any embellishments. I use these arrows to do some documenting, but that is about it. This is my niece's birthday. And this was later. This was done a little bit later, so probably towards the latter part of completing this album than earlier. So you can see I'm using a bunch of different embellishments on here. Now I am using some sticky glue dots and just added those and then added the glitter. I still like this. I think this is quite cute. Minimal journaling. I am not a big journaler, and so you won't see a lot of that in my album. This here was when I took my nephews and one of my closest friends and her daughter. We went to a interactive exhibit. It's called Touch the Universe. I don't know if it still exists, but it's like a science exhibit at the museum in Winnipeg. And again, if you look, no embellishments really. It's just all photos. I downloaded some pictures off the internet to kind of represent the universe, but that's really all there is to it. And if you look, I just used a Brother tape, you know, the label maker, to do my journaling, and that's pretty much it. Then I made a trip to Vancouver Island, and again, very typical, right? A grouping of photos. Just a little bit of cardstock. In fact, not much pattern paper. It's mostly solid cardstock. And then photos, a little brochure from the hotel I was staying at. And I did do a little bit more journaling on here than I have on some of the other pages. So this was a trip to Victoria, and it was for a work convention, but I went a little bit longer. And so I have a few other pages just embellishing, telling the story, I guess. Again, if you look at this one here, no cardstock at all, just photos, added a business card, and that's pretty much it. This one here, very popular of the style, where I just stack the photos right next to each other to document my story. And then I actually went for a high tea at the Empress Hotel, so it was quite the thing. And I actually used a stamp, and I pulled the colors from the brochure and from what I was wearing that day. This was a lot of fun. I also went to what they call a castle. And here I used some border stickers to embellish, and I thought they kind of looked like the stained glass that was prevalent in the castle. And really that's it. So no dimension or anything on here. I did trim out a couple photos because of the type of photo that they were, but that was pretty much it. More photos of the interior. Again, you see that grid kind of look. I used more border stickers along the edge, and that is it. Oh, and a little bit of plain cardstock. Again, still the same castle. Some more photos of the interior, a brochure, and again more of those border stickers just to kind of jazz up the background. But all of this is just plain cardstock in the background, no pattern paper at all. It's probably why I have so much patterned paper. Then I went to the Butchart Gardens, and I actually had quite a bit of patterned paper from K & Company, I believe, along with borders and stickers. So you're going to see a little bit more of that in here. So I actually did use a patterned paper for the background on these. Shocking. But there is still colored cardstock. And then you do see a little bit of some dimensional items, and those are stickers. This was a border sticker that I just added at the bottom of that page. This one here, again, pattern papers from that K & Company pad. Typical grid, right? Kind of almost looking like a pocket page, but not. And then I have some more of those dimensional butterfly stickers. And I took a lot of photos. So this particular line of paper, they had some very specific flowers in the case of tulips, and I actually took some tulip photos, so I kind of just grouped that on that page, and that pretty much is the embellishment along with a couple butterflies. No embellishments on this at all, just the 6 photo grid. Then my boss and we played a little hooky and escaped from the convention. We were a little bit earlier, and we rented some what do they call them, scooters, mopeds, and we went on a whale watching tour and just kind of enjoyed ourselves. It was a lot of fun. Very simple layout again. You see kind of the emergence of cut aparts showing up, and I just inserted them into the overall grid. No dimension on here at all, just some arrows pointing to who we are in the photo, because otherwise we kind of get lost. And that's it. Then I have a layout about scrapbooking with some friends. Border stickers must have been my in thing, because you see more of them here, creating a design. We started a tradition with my sisters and sister-in-laws. We would take my mom and grandma out for brunch, and that's what you see here. This was a collection of paper with this pattern. This was a sheet of borders, and I just trimmed those out, and then I added a couple flowers and then the butterflies to finish that up. Very clean, I think, for the most part. And then this is just a page about hanging out with some friends. This is at a park in Winnipeg. It's called the Cinnamon Park, and we're just being a little bit goofy. This was a collection from Stampin' Up! When they still did a lot of scrapbooking supplies. And because it's the same event, I tend to carry the papers over so you could tell it's all related to each other. So again, more floral photos, and all of these items are from that kit from Stampin' Up! And then I had a Scoopy picture of a friend emulating or simulating, whatever you want to call it, trying to be the statue. And I just took this pattern paper, trimmed out a little bit along here, tucked the photos in, and then added some of these baubles, I guess, to embellish it. So a little bit busier of a page than normal for this time period. This was the other side, and in order to kind of mirror this look, it looks like I created borders along the edge, used more of those baubles, and then just added some photos. This is my niece's birthday, another niece. This was a collection of paper. I can't remember who it was. Was it Bo Bunny? Maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I did use pattern paper. So that's, again, we're moving. I probably did this a little bit later on in time when I started moving away from the plain cardstock into experimenting with pattern paper. It came with chipboard pieces as well as dimensional stickers. So that's what you see here. She's so cute. This is again a photo of friends and I, us hanging out on the deck, having some summer drinks, and pattern paper, and I had a dimensional sticker pack, and I just went to town. Then I had a family reunion, and this was a Stampin' Up! Collection of paper. So I just created these individual banners. I did some shading with a marker. This was a sticker I had. It's like a chipboard sticker. This is my dad's family, so his mom and siblings. I kept it pretty simple. And then I have the various photos configurations. I come from a fairly large family. So I've got, these would be considered all the grandchildren, so my generation, and then with their spouses. And then this would be great-grandchildren, and this would be my aunts and uncles with their mom. And their siblings, not siblings, their spouses. Then later on that year, I took a road trip with my sister, and we went to Utah, or actually I went to Utah for a convention, and then she joined, and we drove around Utah and hit many of the national parks. So that's what you see here. I want to say this is October afternoon, but I could be wrong on that. So pattern paper, a lot more embellishments. You can see my style's changed quite a bit. Chipboard, some brads, but still the same grid layout. Just a lot more dimensional. Then this was Thanksgiving, and this one actually I had a sticker sheet that was Thanksgiving themed, and I decided that that's all I was going to use on this page, so I used some craft cardstock as the base, and then I just created this little fun grid of photos, and then intermixed it with the stickers. I had an invitation to a wedding. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. It was all the way in Australia, so that's what that is. And then look it! I had stuff stuck in here and no photos. Missing a page. So I've got three pages that need to be done. So I have photos in here. I have this banner. I have cardstock. So I don't know why I forgot, but anyways, this got put on a shelf and it never got done. So this is going to be one of my next projects. Hopefully I will do this, and then I will show you how this turns out. But that's going to go in there, and that is my nephew. And then I had a little weekend escape, and I stayed at a bed and breakfast for a while, and this is the room that I rented. This one here is a picture of my nephews. I'm teaching them how to make Christmas cards and Christmas decorations. This was really fun paper. These here are, the snowflakes are these plastic confetti pieces. So more on the making of the cards. And then I have an example of the card that we made, that one of them made. This was all a coordinated paper line, and then these were stickers. I think they were stickers, yeah. I just made the banner across the top. And then we had actual Christmas. This was a kit, oh, I want to say from Creative Memories. And so I just used some of the pattern paper, some of the cut aparts to embellish. Again, yet another, you know, grid kind of layout. And then the last page is also from Christmas. So that's my 2005 album. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said, I will be doing this page, or the 3 pages, because that's what I have to fill here. I guess I could just do 1, but I suspect I'll probably need 3. So I'm going to do that shortly. I'll film it and hopefully put up the process video in the not too distant future and get this album completely done and have no more surprises. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, happy crafting.